Hey everyone, Russo here, back with another video, and again, I'm gonna do some kind of art reviews. Just as I mentioned previously, I'm gonna give that a try for a little bit. So today we're gonna talk about Copic markers, and before I even get started, I know that a lot of people call them Copics, a lot of people call them Copics, a lot of people call them something altogether that I can't even remember. But I did do some research because I hate calling things by the wrong name or pronouncing things wrong, incorrectly. So I did some research, and everyone that is from the company and has done a video for the company pronounces it Copic, and I think it does say on their main site that it is pronounced Copic. So just wanted to put it out there before I start this video. If anyone feels like they wanted to, make fun of me or something, let's keep it going. Okay, so Copic markers. We've got a bunch of different kinds. There's one called Sketch, which is definitely the most popular one. This is what a sketch one looks like. Copic Sketch. And then you have what the color is supposed to look like on both ends. And then it also tells you what the color is called and the color code. So looking at this color code, it would be blue-green and then the 75th variety or the 75th style. So that's how that works. On one side, you can see the little diagram there. You have kind of a chisel tip or a broad end. And then on this side, you have the pointed sketch pen. Now, this is not a hard tip, it's a soft tip. So you've got, it's basically a brush, like a felt tip brush. So that's one style. Then we've got the Copic Ciao, and that looks like this. So this one you can see it's round. Let me try to focus there. Jesus. Okay. So this one's round compared to this one. That is like, I guess it's an oval shape, but it would it sits flat. And this one does not. So the difference between these two is this one does have the broad tip and this one does have the brush. So in that aspect, they're exactly the same pen. However, this one has less ink in it, so it's gonna run out way faster. It also does not have the colors on the end, if that's something that you're interested in being able to see when you're choosing a color, if you have it laid out that way on your desk or whatever. So otherwise, they're basically the same. These ones, I was told that they were not refillable, but I think there's a way to refill everything, and I have heard of people refilling these. So I'm not going to say that they're 100% not refillable and you have to throw it out after you're done with it. These ones are definitely refillable though. And then there's the Copic Classic, which looks closer to this. I don't have one. I just never found the need to purchase one, but it's just basically a square. And instead of having the brush tip, it has a hard pointed tip. And then the final one is called Copic Wide. And I don't have any of those either because, again, I didn't have any use for them. But basically it's like a smaller marker, but that big. And it just has a very wide chisel tip on it, or broad tip. So those are the marker types. my favorite, so before I continue, before I worked at an art store, I bought tons of these Ciao markers. And it was for two reasons. One was because these were the only ones that the store that I went to had, or the only style. And also, I later found out that these sketch ones were way more expensive, and I didn't have money to be, spending on this. So I have, a whole container full of these, which are great. I've run out of color on maybe one of them over the past 5 years, and that depends on a lot of things, because if you use these markers on a surface that is very porous, so meaning that it will absorb the marker, then it's definitely going to suck the ink out way more fast than if you're using it on marker paper, or maybe a vellum sheet or something like that. It's not gonna suck it in. So that varies the time that your marker will last. And I personally like to use these markers on this type of paper here, which is like I guess it's a very heavyweight watercolor. So I'm aware that it's going to sink in. And again, you have to also pay attention to bleed with these, because again, depending on the type of paper that you use, it's going to bleed out of where you wanted it to go. So I will do a couple of examples for you. And I like to get my colors like this. So in at least 3 shades of similar colors. And that's because you can definitely blend these. It's easier if you have colors that are closer together. But again, you have to kind of use your discretion and pick something that's further apart as well, that is going to be noticeable that you did change color. So these specifically, I don't know that I chose them to do anything, but I just pulled these out of my set here to kind of give an idea what you might put together. These ones here for the sketch, I bought these specifically to use together. So you can see I was going for kind of a seafoam, teal, turquoise kind of vibe. And so I got, let me flip this. So I got Moon White, Ice Ocean, and Abyss Green. And I tested these in the store to make sure that the colors went nicely together. So, but like a year has passed and I still haven't actually used them on any project. That's okay though. I like to have them. And so let's take a look. Let's take a look at what they look like when you're drawing with them. So that's the chisel tip. I never use this tip in any of the markers. I always use the brush because it allows me to do like little details. So, and get into like tight areas. So if I go ahead and lay this down, you can already see that on the edges it's kind of spreading a little bit. And this is okay with me because generally I will outline later with a black fine tip marker. So that's not a big deal to me. But if you're concerned about that, you should definitely go with marker paper. And the one that I've tried that seems to have been the best for me is the render pad. I think it's RENDR. And that one has been really good for me. It doesn't really bleed or anything like that. So the way you would blend would be, or this is the way I would blend. Light color, the next darkest color, and then you would go back in and then blend with the first color again. And you have to kind of be careful, because just take a look. Again, this is not marker paper, so it's not going to blend as well. But take a look that on the side here, this is, this is a alcohol based, I believe. Yeah, it's alcohol based. And so what it's doing when I'm going back over this area here with the lighter color, it's kind of, imagine as if you were dropping rubbing alcohol on top of it. It would kind of like go like that and kind of dilute the color underneath it. So that's basically what it's doing in order to blend. So they work amazing. This is a hideous example, but they do work amazing. It's my favorite marker to use if I'm going to do a color piece. But yeah, and let me grab one of these. So for the sketch one, they have the exact same effect. Again, they just have more ink in them. So, and these do have way more varieties of color. The Ciao do not. They have a limited amount. These ones have basically the full range that Copic offers. So, and you always have to be careful when capping them, because if you like shove it in, you can see, I don't know if you, let me see. See how it has like that edge there? If you get that caught in the edge, your marker is going to get ruined, because it is felt and it'll just get squished. Especially if you like try to force it, it'll get squished. So you have to be gentle when you put it in there, and make sure that you always push them closed all the way, because a lot of people think like that when they like close it, they think that's closed, but it's not closed. You can see the little, that edge there, and you have to really push it in to get the snap. Okay, so that's it for the Copic markers. Hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them for you. That's all. Take care.